We're live now.
Bonjour everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Welcome to the Magpie Channel podcast. We're trying something different this week with a different camera, different mic and stuff. So I can hear that works all right, so I don't have to put in the comments. That's sounding lovely. So as you can see this week, we've got the mics attached to us, got a different camera, trying something new since we've had problems in Anarchy Brew because it's a massive tap room, massive brewery, but thanks again for them to hosting us. You can get yourself some Anarchy beer in the top left corner of your screen. Scan it, the home of all beer. There you go. What more do you want? Do you know what I mean? So we've got loads to get through, as always, in this week's podcast. We're going to run for just about an hour. So as always, get your chats in, get your comments in, and give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Right then, Keg, how are we feeling this week? How are you doing?
Not too bad. Yeah, happy with Saturday's game. We'll get into that shortly, but yeah, it always sets you up for a good week, doesn't it? Getting a nice win, lovely little win, put you in a good stead for the rest of the week.
It does. I can't complain about beating anyone 5-1.
No.
Really, can you? I enjoyed it.
Not, no.
I'm just gutted that Sheffield United have been relegated.
True, yeah.
Love playing
them every week, yeah.
Absolutely love it. Was that 13-1 on aggregate against them?
Yeah.
Delight for that.
Yeah.
Quick
not
maths.
Too bad. Yeah.
Quick
1, 2,
maths.
3, quick maths. Yeah.
Evening Ian there, evening Gaffer, he knows, top Gaffer. Yeah. That Derby Day win for me last week, smashing Sunderland. Miss Magpie, looking forward to always the best podcast. Thank you very much. Evening Aaron, evening Jackie, and then Matthew. Yes, we were a couple minutes late as we got some testy on the new equipment. So we'll see how we get on. I'm sure it'll go nice and smooth as always.
Yeah, of course, because it always goes nice and smooth. Just let us know. Easy. Just make sure that we're all good. You can hear us, see us, and it's crystal clear. That's all.
It's all sounding good to me. It's all sounding good to me. Right then, we'll touch a bit on that Sheffield game then before we get into some other interesting topics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, 1-0 down, which is typical, by the way. Typical, by the way. I mean, everyone was in the pub before the game. Everyone's saying, it'll be 7 or 8 today. I mean, they weren't far off the end.
Yeah,
but to be fair, Sheffield United, and we knew this because they were going to get relegated if they didn't avoid defeat. Obviously, they subsequently did get relegated. And they went for it. And they should have been probably with 3-0 up at half time.
Literally. So I was up on level 7, like 5 seats away from the away end. And it was mint atmosphere, to be fair. But I tell you what, it was squeaky bum like. Because, I fancied we both won a bet. We both had 5-1 on.
Aye.
So, 5-1 was my bit prediction. Got it spot on. But yeah, went 1-0 down early on, and you're thinking, that's all right. It's only Sheffield. They can have that 1-0 win. That 1-0 lead, I should say. Then obviously their fans were giving it the big end, saying, we're staying up. It's like, I don't know about that.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, they were giving us gyps in, like, what was it? Champions League, you're having a laugh, they were saying, and I can't remember what else they were saying, but obviously just ripping with because, how shit must you be? We're winning away. That was one of the songs. So it was all good nature. It was all funny. But it started to not get funny. Like I said, they could have had 2 or 3. And I was getting really worried at 1-0. I wasn't worried because it was early. But yeah, the chances that they had, like I was thinking, fuck, this is going to be an embarrassment. This, like, we're going to get beat. I just had an awful feeling. Like they missed maybe 2 sit-outs. Could have been 3-0 up. Once we got back to 1-1 just before half-time, I think that was the nice little cushion that we needed to go into half-time. But even on paper, 1-1 at half-time, I was uncomfortable by that because no disrespect to Sheffield United, put that shit. Like,
you've relegated for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, 16 points with, 3-4 games left is abysmal. We smashed them 8-0 earlier in the year. The week before, they got beat 4-1 off Burnley, who were just as lifting. Like, 4-1's a horrible scoreline against Burnley. So, yeah, with that being said, we could have won 7 or 8-0 again. So, even 1-1 at half-time, I was thinking, how it is. We've been shit. I think the first half, we just really didn't turn up. I don't know if we kind of rested on our laurels a little bit. Everyone else was thinking, we'll wipe the floor with these. So, we just put in, 40% effort. And they had nothing to lose. They're pushing to not get relegated for as long as possible.
It's inevitable.
It's an inevitability. Like, you might have won 10-0 at St. James's Park. You're still going to go down. Like, nothing's going to change that fact. But yeah, I think we obviously came in, I think half-time maybe came at a good time, 1-1. Eddie Howe must have had his say, came out, got the early goal, 2-1, and then the Sheffield that I was expecting came out to play. That was what I wanted, absolute self-destruct mode, 4 quick goals, right? this is the shit team that I was hoping was going to play. Like, yeah, they were absolutely fucking lifting. So, anyway, I think we could have scored more and all. Like, we could have had 7 or 8. So
we totally took our foot off the gas. We got 5, didn't we?
Because I was trying to cash out when it was 5-1 because it was still like half an hour left. I was like, oh, this is never going to be 5-1. I was trying to cash out. Obviously, everyone knows what the
one
Wi-Fi
time
is
signal
like
worked in your favour.
It did, yeah, really, because I was trying desperately to cash out because I was thinking that's definitely going to be another goal in this. There's no way we're just sticking to 5. So, yeah, like I say, we took the foot off the pedal a little bit. They had a penalty given. VAR ruled it out, so that boded well in my favour as well. So, yeah,
trying to cash out that point as well.
I did, yeah. 5-1 win and 3 points and a winning bet. So, yeah, couldn't have gone any better.
Saturday.
What a day! What a day!
Sheffield did capitulate, didn't it?
Oh, that's
self-destruct.
Yeah,
you said it.
I think just as soon as we got the second goal, like at 1-1, it was all right. They were doing all right, but as soon as they went behind, it was like, well,
that's it now.
That's it.
May as well book Millwall away.
Might as well book me fucking holidays because these last 3 or 4 games, however many they've got left, right off. Absolute right off. Get me on the fucking beach.
I think Ben Brenton Diaz had already booked his flight to Chile. He was heading back, wasn't he?
And to Santiago.
I'd say that he was all right, you know, he was pretty good.
He is, to be fair. I think all season, I think he's been the shining light. Just January they got him on loan. Like he's been class, he's got some goals, but obviously it was too little too late. I think if they had him in August, it maybe a little bit different, not much.
Even with Isak, they might be still in trouble. But I was speaking to Brian, shout out Brian, Brian was a big fan of the channel, and I was speaking to them outside Shearer's Bar, and he was saying, yeah, I know it is, I would take that Diaz. You know, like third choice. You have your Shell Wilson, I'd take that. But Brenton Diaz is a third choice. And you know what it is, it's not a bad, probably cheap option. Obviously, he's not really going to play much. He's a bit of a plan B. When you've got Isak and you've got like Sesko or someone else to compete, then you've got
I don't know
Diaz.
how cheap it would be. Because
is
it Villarreal? That's his parent club. Because I think they spent a canny bit. Like when he was at Blackburn, people were wanting him for like 2-3 years, like Premier League, and they were saying like 25, 35 million. Like what? That's fucking. That's
10 at a push.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, I don't know how old he is or anything, but
I don't know if Villarreal like him. I think that's maybe why they put him back on loan to England, so maybe they would sell him cheap, but Blackburn wanted a bag for him.
They did. But he was a threat for them. But that chance they had as well, where they blazed it wide from about 4 yards out. Dubravka as well, man. Right, I've got I'm glad he's leaving the summer now. Honestly, I've had enough of him. Like he's just a liability. He just makes things harder than it is. We'll talk about it. Dan Burn was pretty much the goalkeeper now.
Yeah.
On Saturday, 2 crucial blocks by big Dan Burn. And I gave him a lot of praise after the game on social media, and he deserved it because we've given him stick, rightfully so. And then if he does well, praise him because he did keep us in the game. To be fair,
absolutely. Form's temporary, and I hate
when permanent. I
hate when people like get on people's back because they're having like a little bit of a rough patch. Like it's a rough patch. That's all it is. Like, if they were good once before, they can come back again. Like, they're just having a bit of a bad spell. Like, yeah, Dan Burn was shite, like, a couple of months ago, but centre-back, because he played centre-back, that's his position. Like, you just can't play left-back. Like, if he plays on left-back, then what's the point? Like, he's had a couple of good games there this season, to be fair. Like, give him credit where it's due, but when he plays centre-back, it's fine.
He was talking about that in an interview the other day, actually, Ben. I heard him saying that, at left-back, he does think he can play left back, but he had a couple of nightmare games and everyone picked up on it because he was up against players with a lot of pace. Yeah. So he wasn't helped in that. He wasn't helped in that getting picked there. And when I did put it out on social media, everyone was like, "Oh, it's mad that he's actually playing well in his position." Yeah. And it's true. We've said it so many times already. Like, play fucking your centre backs and you'll see that might actually be better than that left back. Yeah. And
that comes down to Eddie Howe and the coaching staff as well. Like, if you're coming up against a fast winger, particularly a right winger. I thought you were playing Dan Burn left back. What did you think was going to happen? 2 + 2 here, Eddie. What are you coming out with?
I think that game against PSG when he potted Dembele, he didn't pot him, but he kept him quiet a little bit, and he scored. I think from there, Eddie was like, "Right, I'll do it. You did it against Usman Dembele.
Did it against anyone?
Did anyone in the Premier League? It's played out your skin that night though. But well done, Dan Burn, for that that performance
captain's
at the back.
Performance.
It was a captain's performance, and we have to talk about the fans' performance and War Flags in particular. Because they had a brilliant display for Bruno and Joe Linton before the game. The Brazilian flags, and they're now Brazilian Geordies, as the display said. How good did that look? You were level 7, I was down low, so it looked nice for you.
From the opposite side, from the Leazes end, level 7, looking down on that over the Gallagher. That was absolutely sensational.
It was brilliant.
Trying to translate it in my head, like, didn't take too long to be fair. Like, I think I figured it out pretty much, but it was nice, and I'm sure they loved it. I seen Joe Linton on the sideline as well, like in the dugout. So I was thinking it's a shame that Joe Linton's not playing. Then I looked down and seen his yellow head I was thinking, there's Joe Linton there. So yeah, he was
Came
there.
down
He was
just
on the
to say it.
sidelines. He was looking, and obviously Bruno on the pitch. Like, yeah, it must have been a special moment for them too.
Bruno said he felt like crying after the match. And how much it moved him.
And I don't know if that was a tactic from War Flags.
Definitely. Good tactic, lads.
Whatever it was.
Same again for Isak next week.
Yeah. Put some
Big
Swedish
Swedish flag next week, right? Big fucking IKEA logo right there. Meatballs at half time, the lot. Yeah.
Like for Bruno, who has had like transfer speculation, none from him. I'm sure he wants to stay, but if teams are looking, teams are wanting to try and sign him, future may in the back of his head be a little bit uncertain. We're like coming out and saying that, like, and I think we said it last week. Like, here he's a superstar. If he went to City or Real Madrid, he'd just be another player. Of
course,
like, you wouldn't get that love. Like his dad being fucking getting selfies in Tesco and stuff. Like no one would care. Even like London, I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago about how was Robin van Persie. Like when he went to Manchester, like people recognised him and he liked getting recognised. But in London, no one gives a shit.
No.
Like if you're Robin van Persie and people don't give a shit who you are. Like people aren't going to give a shit about Bruno's fucking dad, are they? So that's the difference. Like here, you're a legend, and your family are legends. Like we love your wife and your kids and your dogs. You got a couple of golden retrievers. Like I invited them to my birthday party, but they didn't come. My dog's birthday party, that is, because I've got a golden retriever as well. DM'd his wife, invited them to come down, but didn't come. No, man.
Golden Retriever gang.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like everyone loves them. If they went to a big place, a big city like London, Madrid, Paris, even, like no one would give a shit. They're just another player.
There's no way that display happens at the Etihad at the Emirates.
No, absolutely not.
No way.
No.
So, and I think you'll realise if he does exactly, there's no one there. I mean, people who hold flags. If he did leave, he'd sharp realise the grass isn't always greener, Bruno. But
he might win some trophies, but I think he'd be a squad player. I'm sure he'd be a starting player, but he wouldn't be guaranteed games.
Not every game,
not like he is at Newcastle, where he's literally one of the first names on the team sheet. He's good enough to be a starter at any team in the world, I think, but is he going to keep places? Is he going to play 38 league games in a season? Like even Man City are so deep, they rotate all the time. Like that's why I don't really have Man City players in my fantasy team, because they're not guaranteed to start. No. It doesn't matter who they are. No. De Bruyne, Foden, £100 million on Grealish. No one is guaranteed to start. Like, and you can never predict their starting 11 week to week because they rotate that much. So Bruno wouldn't play 38 games guaranteed. He'd be lucky to start 21, 22.
I just hope he gives us time and he does stay for another year or two, just to hope that it progresses. But we'll talk about Bruno's future, I'm sure, a lot more during the summer transfer window. Well, hopefully not that much, because obviously he's got a release clause that expires in the 30th of June.
Didn't know that until Friday.
That was nice.
That's a nice little information.
I've talked about that, but drop your thoughts on it. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, because I think we just touched on it last week. Like we spoke about the rumour, the speculation, how I was a little bit worried about the release clause, why I didn't really understand why it was put in, but we didn't know at that time that it's got an expiry date, which was it June 1st or something like that?
June 30th.
June 30th. So all we've got to do is just keep hold of them until then. And if anyone comes in with an offer, then all we've got to do is reject it until then. And then if someone wants to try and come in, then you've got to pay more than 100 million. Exactly. You can attempt to trigger the release clause, but we just simply don't want to take it. So hopefully people don't say that now and think, right, fuck it, let's get him before June 30th. But I think we mentioned last week that it doesn't include Premier League teams. So only like a Real Madrid or PSG could trigger 100 million before June 30th. And then
that's some rumours.
But
a lot of people are saying, obviously, the best thing about this is that no one can afford to do that before the 30th of June, because that's kind of like the soft deadline for your figures, if you like. Do you know what I mean? So it's like they can't really spend that much before then, because it then resets. So that's how people will spend in the summer. So without getting into FFP troubles, it'd be very difficult for anyone. Like I
still don't understand why they put it in, because you only signed that deal not long ago. So it must have been like a release goes until the end of the year, because was it not like November or something he signed his new contract? So.
Do you not think it's interesting why the club kind of made that public as well? He could have easily refuted them claims. The amount of times that he says, I don't know about that. I don't know. About the stadium, about transfers, about anything. He's always like asked about going to Japan last week. He's like, any idea. I mean, like, of course he fucking knows where he's going for a Parisian tour. At least he knows that it's set up.
He's like, viable option.
He's like, nah, doing that now. I mean, like, not doing me. So for him to be like openly come out and say that, It's a bit of a funny one for me. You can look at both ways from the club to announce it. It's kind of like stay off, or kind of like you got until then to do it if you want.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
come in and make the offer if you want. But yeah, interesting one, and I don't really know the ins and outs of it. So again, it's just further speculation. But yeah, I don't really know why it was included in the first place, to be honest. But yeah, hopefully we can keep people off until the 1st of July, and then it's out of the window. And then if someone wants to sign them, then you've got to come negotiate. You've got to come with a big 3 figures, not just 100 million minimum.
PSG come in with the Mbappe money after that. Well, not that they're getting anything for him, but the money, money to save on wages.
Wages, I know.
How much is he on again a week? Isn't he on like $500,000 a week or something?
Something like that.
Absolutely mental.
With like part ownership or something. Does he have like a sane managerial appointments and
owns the Eiffel Tower and that. So he just owns
20% shares in Paris tourism. Charles de Gaulle Airport.
He loves it. Right then. Last thing to talk about on the Sheffield game was Wilson, then goal scoring return for our number 9 at St James's. Obviously, came on against Palace midweek. I tell you what, I tried to get on the signal for this one at St James's because I thought he's going to score now.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to get in play.
Yeah.
Not possible. There's always no signal.
Not possible.
Apparently, the club are working hard on that, by the way, and it's going to be improved very soon. The signal in the stadium or a Wi-Fi or something. They're going to be.
To be fair, even other clubs that do have Wi-Fi, it's a little bit shit. But at least it kind of works.
Really good. Get on. West Ham and Spurs is really good.
Spurs. I remember what. Excuse me.
Sorry, Spotify, Google, Apple listeners on podcast.
It's a little bit fizzy, that. What have I got? The Thirst for Life.
Fizzy for life.
Yeah,
for life.
Fizzy, that. Sorry about that.
These were a good idea, weren't they? That's a microphone underneath this. Brilliant.
Just fell out that one. Didn't even expect it. I think like Old Trafford's got Wi-Fi, but it's kind of difficult, isn't it? I think when you've got like so many people trying to connect to it, like it doesn't really work. But yeah, we just haven't even got it.
When we got 2G,
it's absolutely lifting. So yeah, I think like that's another part of like the development. Like
Jesus Christ, that bit was unreal. Says Giazak.
Cheers.
Rate out 10.
Yeah, rate out 10 was like. Yeah, like it's part of the ongoing development, and I'm sure we might touch on the new stadium development as well.
Absolutely will.
But that again, like it's just part of the progression. Like the club was rotten under Mike Ashley.
Honking.
It's been 2.5 years now.
Long years.
That's still a long way to go.
Long way to go.
Obviously, how much money did they need to spend to get even remotely close to where we are? Because we're still nowhere near. We spent a fair whack on the training facility. That was again an upgrade. Could maybe do more.
Even Bruno heard that bit in Brazil.
Also, Rumble in the Jungle.
All right.
That's what it was now. Yeah, we spent loads of money. We've done the inside of the concourse. That could still be worked on. Obviously need the extension. Doing the stack outside. So there's a lot of things being done, but a lot more things to be done. So yeah, I think like Wi-Fi, match day experience, things like that, like still needs to be ticked off the list.
It does, like, and obviously we're going to talk about the stadium very soon, so we can get into all that because they are going to say they're modernising St James's Park is this stuff. I did a video earlier today, but have a look at that after this one, as we're going to talk about it live, and I want to know your thoughts in the comments about the St James's Park expansion. Pretty much all but confirmed. So Isak, then, the other striker, he was on fire again. 2 goals for him, 19 in the season, chasing down the golden boot.
23 on all comps.
All right. Chasing down that golden boot with Cole Palmer of Chelsea and Erling Haaland of City.
Couple, didn't he? Haaland.
Got one.
Palmer was injured.
Palmer played against Villa, but didn't score, thankfully.
Is he only one off now? Is Haaland on 21?
I don't know. Have a look.
I think Haaland will be on 21, Palmer will be 20, and Isak 19?
No, Isak's 19, aye. Isak's right off Newcastle's unbelievable, though. Yeah. Like, goals to game ratio. Best minutes in the Premier League, I think it is. Most goals this calendar year, with 11 in the Premiership. Still like calling it the Premiership. Good old Premiership.
Yeah, I know. Things have moved from here. I can't remember where things are now.
Can't get the goal scorer list. Trying to get it. Couldn't do it.
No, that's not it.
Could just Google it, like.
Good as Google it, like.
Someone in the chat can let me know. Maybe we're going to find out before you do. But the point I was going to make is, and let me know as well what you think, people watching, Isak, if he stayed at Newcastle, could he end up breaking Alan Shearer's goal scoring record? He's got about 200 not to go.
Yeah,
He's done it already in about a year and a bit with plenty of injuries.
Yeah,
if he stayed at Newcastle for the next 5, 6, 7 years, could he do it?
Yeah, 5, 6, 7, nah. I think the ask's too great. I think Shearer's goal scoring record was just absolutely
So say if you got 25 every year, what would that be, 105 years? It'd be way too much. It would be really hard to catch up with, wouldn't it?
So
we need to stay for the next 15 years till Shearer's age till he retires about 34, 36.
So in Premier League terms, he's only got 29 goals.
Aye.
Because he only got 10 in the league last year. I think he scored a lot more in all competitions. I think close to maybe 16 in all competitions.
He played 22 last year.
Because he was injured a fair bit, wasn't he?
So, he's been injured a fair bit this year. 2 months he's missed.
Wilson scored 18. I think Almiron scored 11 or 12. So he's only got 29 Premier League goals. And what's Shearer got? 250? Like, yeah.
260?
He needs to be here more than that. He needs to be here for at least 10 years. Score goals at this season's rate, not last season's rate. But he's had injuries. Even this season, he scored 19 goals with injuries.
Exactly.
I just don't think so. Like, everyone's been chasing it. Rooney was chasing it. Aguero was chasing it. Kane was chasing it.
Kane was the one.
People are talking about Haaland getting this.
He won't stay long enough.
But I don't. Well, Isak, like he's only been here less than 2 full seasons, and people are already trying to sign him.
Yeah, exactly.
How long can we keep batting people off? And it's not like Shearer, where he probably had interest. If he wanted to leave Newcastle, he probably could have. But
name it a Barca.
But he's a club legend, and he doesn't want to leave. Whereas Isak hasn't really got ties to this. It's same as like Bruno, Joelinton, anyone. Like, if anyone wanted to leave, what's really keeping him here apart from fan adoration? With people like Shearer, he wants to stay because this is where he lives. This is home. Like, this is his club. It's his dad's club. Like, Shearer didn't want to leave. Whereas Isak, if he's going to get a big offer, if we're going to get a big offer, he's going to get a mad contract offer. I don't see him being here 10 years, unfortunately, because I would absolutely love him to be.
Aye.
So, yeah, I think, obviously, like I say, he has to stay here for at least 10 years, be banging in 20 goals a season minimum to even touch Shearer's record. So, can't see it happening.
What about the Golden Boot then? The Golden Boot, he is 2 off, you said, wasn't he? So Haaland's on 21, Palmer's on 20, was it? And Isak is on 19 alongside Ollie Watkins and Dominic Solanke on 18 and 5th. So it's all to play for. Like, when we look at our fixtures, I think Chelsea are too inconsistent. I think, Palmer has carried them, to be fair. You see, without his goals,
the last game.
they'd be in a relegation battle.
Really?
Aye.
Wow.
Without his goals, they'd be in a relegation battle. That's how important it is.
I mean, half your chest, but I didn't think that.
I know, So Haaland, obviously, they're going for a title. He's come back to fitness now, so he'll get a few more.
Getting form as well. He's just been scoring a couple of goals.
I love he's 2 behind. It's probably going to be hard again.
Hey, we did say, I think we kind of touched on this last week, and we say, like, can we do it? And like you say, like, well, we've got Sheffield United to come. Like, that was the one.
Got Bailey this weekend, though. Patrick Felix.
That's another one. So he needs to get
this weekend.
He needs to get at least another 2. Then we've got Brighton, Man United, and Brentford. So
there's chances.
If he gets at least another 2, he'll be on 21, be 1 ahead of Palmer, obviously depending on if Haaland scores. So I think he can push it right until the last game of the season, then
going for it, Brentford.
Yeah, see what happens.
Taking everything, taking corners, trying to score from them. A lot.
Score from a goal. Kick him, I have to.
He'll be taking goal kicks. Right then, next up on discussion, Keg, and I think it's only right that we do talk about the title of the podcast now, which nearly got changed because of the St. James Park expansion stuff, but I've already did a separate video on that. Check it out later. Premier League spending caps. This came into play yesterday in a Premier League meeting. Yet to be officially announced and confirmed, but everyone's reporting on it. The Athletic, everyone's saying exactly what the rules are and how it affects us, what we're waiting to see. There was a couple of teams that voted against it. Yeah. Like, say, Man City's and that. And then
of course it was.
Most of the other teams agreed to it and want it to go ahead. A Premier League spending cap on wages to try and allow teams to spend a bit more money. So
let's see if I can pull up that article. I was reading it this afternoon.
I just want to get the article up to get it right for you lot, so we can say it how it is, and then we can go through it.
That's fine.
So explain to you what exactly it is, and we'll give our thoughts on it. So the rules, should they be approved in a final vote later this year, will replace the current profit and sustainability rules, which have caused controversy in the league this season. So your Forest, your point deductions and all that.
Supposed to be the richest team in the world, not being able to spend a fucking penny.
Yeah, nobody's spending a penny in January, to be fair. Worst window ever. So that's made the Premier League thing as a brand now and as a business, which it is.
Biggest league in the world.
Yeah. Oh, well, we need to stay the biggest team in the world. So let's change the rules so people can spend again. So they're going to change those rules that, let's be honest, are very much outdated. So it was in a London meeting on Monday discussing the potential new rules, which includes a spending cap on player wages, transfer fees, and agent fees. So it's meant to come in from the 25-26 season. The details still need to be worked out but clubs not in Europe will be allowed to spend 85% of their club revenue on squad costs. So that does give people a much better chance. If only that was in when the takeover happened, that would give us a better chance to, now we are in Europe, or we might still obviously this year, because Europa League, Conference League still counts, to really try and catch up a little bit more, I suppose. The clubs that are in Europe, they still do have to apply with the UEFA rules where it is 70% on squad costs. So a bit of a difference there. What a lot of people have noticed is if you can only spend a maximum of 85% of your revenue on your squad and you're a rich club, then you will always be able to spend more on your squad than the poorer clubs. So the situation could be changed for the solution to be anchoring rules. What is anchoring rules?
What is anchoring, eh?
I hear he's asking, because I'm going to tell you
Now we're on Burgundy.
Now to do we're on Burgundy now. It's going to be something you're going to hear about a lot. In its simplest form, anchoring means all clubs would only be able to spend a maximum of the multiple of what the bottom club earns in TV revenue. Stay with us, yeah.
I've read that this afternoon. I had to read like 3 times. I was like, that sentence makes no sense.
So at the moment, the bottom club gets 103.6 million. If the anchoring multiple, and this has been discussed, is going to be 4.5, that means that would result in 466 million spend. So the cap would be 466 million in that instance. That's the maximum amount that clubs would be allowed to spend on wages, amortised transfer fees, and also agent fees. Details are still yet to be ironed out. The multiple might not necessarily be 4.5, but that's what's being worked on at the moment. The rules are in principle, and they're still waiting a final vote. But the Premier League are meant to be given the green light to it, because like we've just said, they know that people need to start spending money again to keep the Premier League exciting, entertaining, and bring the biggest players in, and for them, make the most moolah. It looks certain that we will have anchoring rules and a spending cap from the season after next. Only 3 clubs voted against the spending cap: Man United, Man City, and Aston Villa. Chelsea abstained from voting.
Well, that's interesting.
It is, and it's meant to be because of the European thing. So why did those clubs vote against it? Because the whole concept of anchoring is controversial. The Premier League critics will say it means the move in a different direction if you restrain how much clubs can spend on their squads. For example, if you tell Man City you can only spend 466 million on your squad, they can come back to you and say, our turnover is 800 million. Who are you to tell us how much money we can spend? Well, funny enough, we're doing the same thing now.
Yeah.
Obviously, our turnover isn't that much, but we've got fucking billions in the bank, and we're trying to get a Calvin Phillips in. Thankfully, that didn't happen. But we couldn't get a player in on a loan fee in bloody January. Obviously, for Man United, you've got Jim Ratcliffe there now. They want to invest and turn things around, and they feel having a spending cap in place might mean they have to operate with one hand tied behind the back. So basically, when these clubs like Man U, Man City make so much in revenue, 800-900 million, they're saying, well, that's not helping us because that's limiting us. Whereas a team like Newcastle is saying, if our revenue is not that high, then it's going to help us, this rule, because then we can go on to spend 466 million, where at the minute we can't spend fucking 6 million under the FFP rules and the PSR rules. And obviously the main thing is how it's going to affect these big clubs in Europe, or the teams that are competing in the top 4, top 6. So yeah, there's loads more. You can Google it, read it on it yourself. It is quite confusing. There is still a paradox, and there is still principles to work out. But that's the gist of it, in a sense, of it explained so far from that meeting that took place a couple of days ago. Yesterday, sorry, I keep thinking it's Wednesday. But your thoughts on that rather confusing spending cap that could potentially be introduced?
If from what I believe, understand, which I'll be honest, I don't. So what I think it sounds like is a good thing. So yeah, those in Europe have less to spend percentage-wise based on the revenue, but them clubs have much bigger revenues. Like your Man City, like their revenue is quite clearly bigger than even Newcastle. But say like your Brightons, your West Ham's, everyone, Bournemouth, Sheffield United, Burnley, Luton. Like it can't be fair that everybody's the same.
No.
So similar to like a salary cap in the NFL, I think it's good that you can only spend so much, but the difference there is like everybody pretty much has the same, like the NFL salary cap applies to the league, whereas this kind of applies to however big you are as a club. Like it's a good thing if you're a big team like Man City and your revenue is like 900 million, and you get to spend, what was it, 75% if you're in Europe?
70% if you're in Europe, 85% if you're not.
That's still a lot. And I think it does give a fair advantage to those lower teams, which I like, because I felt like the only way that this was ever going to get done would benefit the bigger teams. I feel like it was only ever going to be the rich feeding the rich while the poor get poorer.
Yeah.
That's the only way that I thought there was going to be, which would be unfair as literal fuck. So yeah, no, I like it. And this may not even necessarily be a good thing for us in the long term, because we're hoping to increase our revenue, which is good, but we also want to play in Europe.
Right.
So we'll get less to spend. We'll be in the 70% bracket, whereas the majority of the league will be in the 85% bracket. But that's up to us and like Peter Silverstone's and people to raise the profile of the club. Like, we want to be like Man City. We've got the money to do it. We just don't have the revenue. Like, we're still a relatively small club in the terms of the big six, the power six. So I think it's fair currently on the rest of the league, and I think that's the only way that it can be fair, because I feel like if this was like the whole English pyramid, like the European Super League, this was going to fuck over everybody else. Like the 92 EFL clubs, like the European Super League would just literally be the rich getting rich and the poor getting poorer. So this seems a fair way. The only way that it's going to help you raise your revenue. If you want to make money, either don't qualify for Europe, or increase your revenue. Simple as that.
Back to these rules now, we may just start losing every game for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Right, we'll finish 10th, but we'll have fucking loads to spend or something.
Yeah.
But it's not the case.
So if a team like West Ham, for example, like West Ham's a big club, they've got a lot of money getting into Europe, like Villa. That's maybe why Villa didn't vote for it, because maybe they can't compete and they'd rather have the 80% revenue. But you've got to sacrifice something. Like, you either want to be in Europe or you want a lot of money to spend in the transfer window. You can't have it both ways.
No, you can't. Next you Man City or PSG, can you?
Yeah. I quite like it if it is how I perceive it to be, which I might be wrong.
Well, we need obviously to get given the green light well and truly, and then for it to be thoroughly explained. But that was from Sky what we read out, so that's the gist of it so far. For me, everything does still come down to revenue and what you make, and that's why, as we'll talk about in a minute, is this stadium expansion, which will obviously increase revenue. Obviously, the stacked fans that's coming in. That's a clever way of getting around it. Why do you think we're doing bloody post-season tours to Australia for a week, straight after the last game of the season?
Not even pre-season.
No, it's post-season.
This is a post-season tour.
Right? Brand new thing.
Post-season tour.
Well, apparently the Premier League are going to ban them from now on, aren't they? There's another rule that's given in place for us. They're saying that we're going to get rid of that because it's a loophole. It's lucrative. Shouldn't be allowed.
Strange one.
But again, it shows you what needs to be done, because a couple of weeks ago in a press conference, Eddie Howe was asked about it, and he was like, basically saying, to be honest with you, no, we don't want to go. There was an exclusive the other day saying that loads of the players are unhappy with it. They had holidays booked. They don't want to go to Australia, especially before the Euros.
Nah, it is a stupid idea. Right?
For a daft game against Spurs and the A-League team.
I don't particularly like it, but I reckon it will just be the academy kids. I can't see Bruno and Isak and whoever else playing in that one. I think they'll probably get to go on holiday, especially those that are going to the Euros, like hopefully Gordon and people like that. Like, I can't see them going.
They'll have knocks. Because they'll definitely get fucked if they just sent all the fucking youngins to the Australia.
Yeah, so, for those that's wanting to go, spend however much it costs to go across to the other side of the world, be prepared to see the under 23s. Because I cannot see any of our key players, and maybe you have Dummets and Richies and stuff like that. Like, maybe they'll go, like Crafts and Carriuses, maybe they'll go. But are Sweden in the Euros?
No, they're not.
No, yeah. Well, yeah.
Isak's only one then?
Yeah. No, I cannot. I don't care. It's one of them things. Like, what time are them games going to be on? Do we know? Like, UK time?
Daft o'clock. It's like my brother lives there. It's like the opposite time. It's like 12 hours ahead or something. Yeah.
So I'll definitely not be sat near on to watch them.
Can you watch along for once?
Nah,
no chance.
He can.
I'm married. I really don't care that much. I mean, we'll see what happens with pre-season where we end up like, but for post-season, because the thing about pre-season is great is, it's It's the new players that you're looking at. It's how you're going to line up, what's going to change, what's new. You missed it because it's been off for like a month or two. But we'll play Brentford and then a few days later we're playing Spurs in Melbourne. Like, I don't get
sense. Literally when players should be on the beach, like what Sheffield United are now. Hey, well, it's holiday time.
You would be good though, wouldn't you? Like,
I'd be foaming about that.
Absolutely knackered. Look at how many injuries we've had this season. The most injured side. Oh, Gandhi, I would just fly across the other side of the world. That's a good idea.
To play more football.
Want more injuries, do you?
Oh my God, Australia. But I'm getting a Bondi Beach. Put my feet up.
Right, I was trying to catch up with the comments, but it's a nightmare on this one. I should have done the other one. Anyways, that let us know what you think in the chat about that, about the old new PSR rules, because obviously something needs to happen, needs to change to allow us to try and compete. So new rules will be coming in. More on that when they become official and they get explained at further depth. Okay then. So one way Newcastle United are looking at increasing that revenue and grow our financial income is through St James's Park, which is apparently going to get expanded. Now, we know a feasibility study has been underway for 6 months now at Newcastle United, where architects and everyone else has been looking at possible options to increase the capacity at St James's. There was a lot of talk of, will we get a new stadium? Will the owners want the new stadium here, there, where? They don't. Not for the time being anyways. The option has been decided that we will be expanding St James's Park to a 60,000 plus capacity. That is according to the Telegraph, who say they've got the exclusive. Obviously, those study results should be coming out soon to be made public, really. They said it was going to be the end of spring. So they should be coming out in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll know. Maybe Eddie will get asked about it on Friday.
Does
not know about it. That's Bruno's list.
What extension? An extension.
So we'll see what happens there. But in that article, they were saying that they want to modernise St James's Park, and it's going to be one of the most innovative and special places to play in the UK. There must be a lot of work. There must be a lot of work getting done. We talk about the concourse and everything else. Fuck me, everything needs upgraded still. A lot needs upgraded still. So there's a lot of work done there. They said, they're going to focus on getting concerts there, NFL there, loads of different sport and loads of different ways to bring in extra revenue. So are you happy that we're staying in St James's Park? Is it the right decision, or would you have wanted that new shiny stadium?
Nah, for me, this is what I wanted. Like, I'm buzzing with this. I'm happy. For one, I think a lot of teams get new stadiums, and the atmosphere just isn't there. Like Highbury over the Emirates Main Road, over the Etihad, Upton Park, over London Stadium. Like these new stadiums, they just lack atmosphere. I think they're too big, especially the London Stadium, because it's got a fucking racetrack around it, like miles away from the stadium. Nah, I'm not a fan of it, and obviously it's going to cost billions. Like, I think Tottenham spent about $1 billion on their stadium and couldn't sign anyone for like 2 transfer windows. That need more money. Like, I don't know if sustainability rules or whatever might change for now, but nah. St James's is a special place, and it is already a great stadium, even though for 20 years under Mike Ashley it was neglected. Like, I feel like the concourse and around the stadium, all I've ever felt like it needs is just a bloody good clean and a lick of paint. But for the majority of the interior, the exterior, it just needs a bit of love. It just needs a bit of maintenance. That's it. But like, I think after the first summer, the takeover was in October 2021. So between the 22 to 23 season, there was work done. There was like flags put up. There was a bit of colour. Like, it looks better than what it did. Like, with a boring brown and grey brick. Like, it's a bit more colourful. It's a bit more lively than it is now, but still needs a lot of work done to it. But like the Wi-Fi and stuff, as we mentioned before. But I think expanding the stadium, that's all that it needs. It's 52,000. That's still bigger than the majority of stadiums in the country.
I think it's the 6th biggest now, is it?
It was second to Old Trafford, I think, obviously prior to all the new stadiums, before the Emirates, before the Etihad, before the London Stadium, Tottenham Stadium. Yeah. So, yeah, there's 4 stadiums that's overtaken.
Feels bigger than us now.
Is it? They
must have had an extension. A massive extension.
So, yeah, well, not too long ago, the second biggest stadium behind Old Trafford. So, and we're still 6th out of 20 teams. Well, 6th in the country, minus Wembley. Still fine. if you just whack a couple more thousand seats in there, like build over the Gallagher, like the intended project is, I'm buzzing for it. Like this is what we should be doing in the future. Maybe do the other stand as well. If we can't do that, then Christ knows what the capacity then could be. It could be bigger than Old Trafford if we've done that. But yeah, for at least the short term, this is the right way to go without spunking £1 billion on the stadium that lacks history and atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, you said you had a few thousand on there, but is it going to be enough? Because you look at the demand. Demand is huge for tickets and everything.
That's what I mean. In the future, we could do the other side, so it's all one level.
Don't think it's possible with the East Stand, is it?
No, that's what I was saying. So it may not be, but I don't know. What do you want? Would you rather have a 100,000 seat stadium full of tourists in the atmosphere?
Oh hell no.
That's what I mean. Like I'd rather. What's the projected capacity adding on to the Gallagher?
So they reckon it's going to be 60,000 plus with this extension.
So 60.
But they haven't released official information yet, the club, about how they're actually going to do it. But it must be the Gallagher and build across the road.
60 plus, say 62, so 10,000 more.
That's nice, that.
That's all right.
That's all right.
For now, for the short term, yeah.
For the next 5-10 years.
If we need to build a bigger stadium because the demand and the popularity shoots up, something to cross the bridge with in about 10 years' time. But for now, I don't want a new stadium. I don't want to leave the 100 years history that St James's has. Like, it's a fine stadium. It's not like what Turf Moor.
We're
not the it's not even the Vitality anymore. I don't even know what the fuck it is anymore. Like, I don't know.
Bournemouth is the Vitality.
Is it still the Vitality? I thought we changed sponsorships.
Turf Moor.
Yeah. It's not like we're that low down. If we were a team that had this takeover with the money that we've got, if we had a 20, 30,000 seater stadium, then all right, fair enough. I'd probably want a new stadium because we would need it. But about 52,000. If we go up to 62,000, it's fine for the next 10 years. So no new stadium, no thank you.
I think 62 is fine for the next 10 years or so. I think that makes sense. I think that's all right because Eels was saying last year, he was saying it's all good and well having a new 80, 90,000 seater stadium, but do you think in Newcastle, which, it's not a massive city, could we fill that on a Tuesday night against Sheffield United?
You know how it is? I think we could.
80,000.
I think we could. And especially if we're going to grow. But the problem is, how many of them are going to be loyal Geordies? Majority of them, I would say, probably would be, because we are a big, loyal, passionate fan base. We've proven that over the years when we've packed out away games at Scunthorpe in the Championship on a wet Tuesday night. We've done it. We've got that kind of fan base. We're not like a Man City. Like, we are a big fan base. Like, we'll probably will pack it out. Like, the demand, we're pretty much selling out in the Championship prior. Like, even Steve Bruce, before the protests, the boycott, we're still pretty much selling out, even when we were shit. So I reckon we could sell out 80,000 easy, even if a fair few of them, a good 10,000 maybes, are tourists. And that is a high possibility.
Well, you've seen it already.
Yeah, exactly.
Even now you've seen it.
Yeah. So we could sell it out, whether it's corporate, whether it's tourists, which would lessen the atmosphere. I reckon at least 60, 70,000 would be loyal Geordies. So we could do it, but I just don't really see the necessity for it because I just think the atmosphere will be wank.
That's not what I want, is it? How far is the flags in the stretch?
Exactly. The war flags would need some bigger donations. Buy some cans, will you?
Buy some up, yeah. Scan that QR code.
We need about 50,000 new flags, man.
Because the Gallagher's going to be right at the top. If that's what you let it believe where the extension's going to be, it's going to have to be. But the thing is, we talk about Spurs now, right? Their match day revenue, I had the figure and I can't remember what it is, but it's so much more than Newcastle. And now
their stand's bigger than, I think it was Bournemouth Stadium. Bournemouth Stadium's only 10, 12,000. They've got one stand bigger than an entire Premier League stadium.
That's crazy. And what they've got is loads of unreal facilities in there. We've been, obviously, the beers that fill up when you put them down. That, honestly, right? They've said, though, how much more money they're making, millions and millions extra on a match day, because of daft things like that. And because what they try and encourage people to do is, and Brighton do this as well, I remember, is stay after the game. So they don't want you to go off and go to the crow's nest or any of the spoons or something and go and buy pints. So loads of Spurs fans, after the full-time whistle, obviously probably depends on how the game went, will stay in the stadium and buy beers, buy food. Remember when we went, man, and there was fish and chips for sale. There was
Yeah.
Indians in there, curries for sale. That everything, not just shitty out-of-date pies at St James's.
That was in the away end, I believe, in the south stand.
They've got this thing called the long bar or something, the mile bar. Or something.
Yeah, literally. I think it was the week after that. So I've only been to the Tottenham Stadium for Joe Linton's first goal at the beginning of the 1920 Stadium. We went there 1-0, absolutely fantastic. Literally, I think it was the week later, I went back for the NFL London game, and I was in the other end. I was in that 10,000-seater north stand. And yeah, like that was the bar. So what the home fans would experience, the long bar, unreal. Like the whole thingy about it, it's just sexy. It's just an outstanding stadium, but it cost them a lot, so much so that they couldn't even buy players. Like 2 transfer windows.
We won't have that problem though, because Saudi Arabia backed in it, so it's now going to spot money, and it doesn't go against FFP.
Yeah, I'm just not, like I said, 10 years time if we need to, if the demand's there for a 90, 100,000 people, then fair enough. But nah, I just don't want that right now. I just don't want to leave St James's. Like it's just got too much history.
Definitely, so we need to win a trophy there. We need to have a trophy celebration season, not just to sell a cup. Yeah, we need to bring a trophy onto the pitch at some point before we move. Need a total shield with Scott Parker. But that's the point as well, though, where around the stadium, and I love this thing they've put out about modernising it, because that's what has to happen, and that's a nice touch where you've got it in the concourses. I mean, the screens and that are still tiny in the concourses. It's still a bit grey, it's still a bit grim. Yeah, it's still calling on tap. It's still, people are taking
Madry now. They've upgraded.
They've got Madry now, but can we get Brown Ale in there back? And get Warbier in there, more importantly. Get Warbier in there and stuff like that. So why isn't the Warbier at the stadium, by the way?
Needs a lot of more work.
Because then everyone was buying Warbier in the stadium. That would then contribute towards
one thing that's wound me up for years and years, and I think it's a little bit better now. Maybe it's not a ton better, but what always used to really rile me was that the staff, and no disrespect to the staff, but they were always like...
He's a shite.
But they were always like agency staff.
16 years
like
old.
16, 17-year-olds.
Shouldn't even be around drink?
It's like their first day at work. They're absolutely petrified. They've got about 50,000 jollies all wanting a pint. Like they're absolutely shitting their pants. They've got no idea what they're doing. They can't find the items on the screen. What would be better instead of hiring 16-year-old agency staff that's never worked a day in their life is like hire staff. Like, is Newcastle not using the fucking agency? Like, as an actual club staff, like for people to come to work all the time, same people, knows what they're doing, knows where things are. It would make the service a lot quicker. And I think it would make a better atmosphere as well. Like more, it's like the match going atmosphere. Like it would make fans happier. Like quick, because every time we've been there, we get our pints like 2 minutes before half time. You've got to neck it off and you're going back second half, blood as fuck.
I'm pissed.
We always miss a goal now. Every time we do that, we miss a goal because we cannot finish our pint off. Like we're trying to neck it down, Carlin, blood to you like fuck. Feel like Roy Chubby Brown going in for the second half. There you go.
It isn't good, but it is good news about the expansion. I'm happy with that. I'm looking forward to when the club officially announce what the plans are. Hopefully, we'll get some, legit graphic images of the extension of what the architects have planned, because people have made some great designs and some great concepts, but when the club actually release it, it'll be fantastic, and we'll run through that in a video when they do. Okay then, what we got left? One thing before we talk about Burnley on Saturday, which again is a huge game, because there's only 4 games left to try and get that European spot. Yesterday, Kieran Trippier was spotted with his personalised backpack leaving Newcastle Airport. You see that? Thoughts on the backpack? Got pictures on there? Got his name on there?
I didn't actually say I didn't really take much notice.
Is that in case he gets lost and found trips or what? Because I don't really know why he's got his name on his backpack, and he's got pictures of his kids and that in there.
Is it?
But anyway, someone spotted him.
Do you reckon that was like one of them like shit gifts that his wife got him?
Aye. He has to.
I love that. That's dead nice. That's much more convenient than me Louis Vuitton backpack. But,
I'm going to have to use that every time I go abroad, am I? Cheers, pet. But someone spotted him leaving, then the panic ensued online where they were like, oh, what Trippier's doing off now. That's the last we'll see of him. He's not going to play again this season. No, he's only interested in the Euros and he's going to leave this summer and all this. Turns out he's actually going to Dubai for specialist physio treatment. It basically comes down to our facilities aren't great in Newcastle, which we know.
Yeah.
The injury room is chugger.
Can't get a bed.
So we're sending him to Dubai, get some world-class facilities, brighten his mood a little bit with some sunshine. unlucky for him, it's actually been nice here, Trippier. So he's the real winner. Sun's been shining in Newcastle today.
But the flood stopped.
Obviously,
it's like flooding a bit.
floods
Is
stopped. But so he's meant to Dubai for some treatment. He's meant to be back for the last 3 games of the season. Is the hope that he will be back for Brighton next weekend. So, what do you make of that? Then Trippier going to Dubai. I was going to say a lot of people. Some people kick off saying, why is he getting a free holiday out of it? He should be back. Yeah, he should be this and that.
I couldn't give a shit.
Trippier needs sold. Says Mark.
People just literally just get on the high horse for anything. Like, he's going to get treatment. He's not just going to put his feet up.
He actually put a post out today of him training so much he probably felt he had to do that.
Yeah.
To put on Instagram him running about Dubai and his Newcastle kit and that, doing drills. Because they probably said to him, you're going to have to put something out, because you're getting battered.
Yeah. He's not going on holiday. It's not like he goes, at the end of the season, I'm going to put my feet up. I'm going to meet up with the Sheffield United team.
Me and Brent Diaz are going to the bank.
Yeah. Even if it was, so what? Like, he's injured. Like, he's probably just got to work on himself. But that is actually the case. People just jumping on the high horse for absolutely no reason. As always, people love to just bitch and moan about absolutely now. Like, it probably was never going to be anything. Like, it's been confirmed to literally be for treatment. He'll be back next week. Probably maybe he'll be on the bench against Brighton. What's everyone crying about? I don't get it.
Well, I'll cry about is that it was meant to be bloody 2 weeks out, minor issue, and then 2 months later he's still injured. That's a nightmare. Like,
that's not really his fault. He's going to Dubai.
It's your fault.
He's going to Dubai. He's leaving Newcastle's shitty medical staff to go and get better ones.
Should have went to Dubai 2 months ago. Maybe been playing again.
I know, literally. This is fucking a month overdue.
Oh dear me, dear me. But you say people love to cause a fuss on me.
They do. I just jump on the high horse, like, just whinge about anything, man.
Right. Well, enjoy your holiday trip, yeah. Bring us back something nice.
Enjoy yourself.
So, we're not going to Dubai on Saturday. We're going to Burnley.
Have you ever been to Burnley?
You love Burnley, don't you?
Oh, that made me Burnley.
We did Burnley a few years ago. Keg drive down. That was an awful day. Wasn't it like hailstone and...
It's quite possibly worse than that. I think it was snowing, like, when we were walking down there during the town / city, whatever it is, of Burnley.
Definitely not even a town.
It's not pretty. It's like This Is England.
It looked like fucking The Last of Us.
Literally, because like obviously This Is England set like in the 80s. Like, it literally is just so like outdated. I feel like
Makes Grimsby look nice.
I feel like the Stephen Graham was going to come out with a knife and try and attack us. Listen, but yeah, it started pelting down with rain. Arthur Stadium, the away end where the bar was in a gazebo. The bar was in a gazebo. It was just one concourse, one. I think you had to fucking slide out. It was like Hillsborough. It was lifted.
Oh, it was horrendous. That.
I've lost you. Fuck's wrong, you?
I hope they fix that for anyone who's going this Saturday.
You slid out the side or something. I don't know where you'd went.
That was really bad. To be fair, afterwards, people put videos on social media saying
it was scary.
Something needs to happen here because that is bad crap. People were like nearly passing out in that, man.
Because they weren't letting you out at the end of the game. Like there was like stewardesses like trying to like stop you like getting out. Like, I just want to go. Like, what's the matter? It was
one tiny little gap for everyone to get through. That
is
a disaster waiting to happen. I hope they saw that.
Yeah.
Probably haven't.
And it was a December day, 17th, if I remember rightly, December 17th, 2019, because it was just before COVID. And we lost 1-0 to a Chris Wood goal.
Oh, we lost. I said something the other day with you. We got beat, didn't we?
No, we got beat 1-0. Chris Wood,
Chris Wood. Oh, God.
Literally one of the worst seasons, mate.
The only good thing about it, and this wasn't even that good, was that pub down the road afterwards. Where we had like some scranty.
Yes, we did.
That was probably the only half-season thing, but it was horrendous. What a horrendous day. But let's hope it's a better day this Saturday because it is a huge game, but it's also a massive game for Burnley. I don't think this is going to be an easy game, you know. I think this is going to be a stinkfest, actually, to be honest with you, because the way our recent way of form has been, yes, we're scraped the win against Fulham, wasn't a good performance. Palace was probably the worst performance yet, alongside Brighton at the start of the season. So Burnley, who were actually in good form as well, drew against Man U, should have won late on. Smashed Sheffield as well. They know that a win could take them out of the relegation zone. I think how tight it is down there, depending on the results. So they've managed to keep themselves in it. Everyone thought they were gone a couple of months ago. Laughing at company, wrote them off. They could still stay up. They are still in a fight. I mean, they'll probably go down, but you know the league's really tight down there, so they can stay up. They're right in amongst it, especially with Forest and Everton's point deductions and that. Everton have pulled away a little bit now, so it's literally going to be between Burnley, Luton and Forest, you'd think Brentford have done enough. So Burnley are second bottom on 24 points. Luton are 18th and 25th points. And Forest are 17th, floating just above the drop zone on 26. So if Burnley won on the weekend and Forest got beat, they would go 17th.
Yeah.
So that's how tight it is. So that shows how huge game it is for them. But let's focus on us. We want to try and get 6th, 7th. We're in 7th at the minute. I'm not sure Man U've got this weekend. I was talking to Saeed the day on that show, and he said I think they've got Palace away, I think he said. So that's a hard game for them as well, to be honest.
On Monday night.
On Monday night. So down to us, if we beat Burnley, we would go into 6th. So it's a big old weekend as there's not many games left.
Yeah, it's a big one. And it's this kind of season where them bottom teams are literally fighting for their life.
It's a waste time.
Even Sheffield, like that first half against Sheffield at home, it was abysmal. Like they were literally scraping for their life, even though they knew they were going to get relegated. Burnley generally have a chance, and they've been fighting. Like they've played pretty well recently. Got some points, smashed Sheffield, nearly got the job done against Man United. What was the score at home? We drew, didn't we?
Against Burnley.
I can't remember what the score was against Burnley.
When did we play them?
I know.
I don't think we drew. Like, no,
I
I think we beat them. That went on the Champions. What was the score against Burnley? Was it not like?
Oh no, it was 2-0.
2-0.
Early in the season.
When was it?
2-0.
Almiron Isak scored.
I can't
September.
remember that at all.
I really can't remember that. That's because there was so many games. That was Champions League time and everything, wasn't it? September was a long time ago. This season, a long slog.
Seems like that. Well, for some reason I thought we drew that game because I can't remember. It's just away, tricky. A team fighting for their life.
They'll go for it as well. You know what company sides like.
Yeah.
To be fair to them, it's not dicey anymore. You know, they will go for it.
Yeah, there's no guarantees with this one, so
There's not, like.
just gotta play the game and just not worry about what they're trying to do or what we're trying to do. Like, forget about trying to get top 6 for a minute. Just for 90 of them.
Just get 3 points.
Just play a game, win the game. That's it.
Because we've obviously got a much better side. We shouldn't be. But then again, man, you got a much better side than Burnley. Look at how that game panned out.
Well,
You know what I mean? So, and that was at Old Trafford, so they did well. But I would say that Turf Moor, I don't think it's going to be a classic on Saturday, but I will say that we'll edge you 2-1. But honestly, I
like that 2-1. That could be mine as well. Like, I don't think it's going to be a 5-1 or an 8-0 like it was against Sheffield. 2-1 at home earlier in the season. So yeah, close. They'll scrap, fight for their life, but it's got to be a win, man.
It's got to be on it.
We can't be losing, especially, but a draw even, like, that's not good enough, man. Like, 19th in the league, we're trying to get 6th. A draw's not good enough at this stage in the league. Like, it's not like, well, we're gonna make up for it next week. Like, there's literally only 3 games after this one. Like, time's running out. Yeah, we need to get them 3 points.
3-0 says Toon Lad. 3-0 says Ian. 4-1 says Lee. Right, and that'll wrap up this week's podcast. Thanks so much to everyone that's tuned in live. Please do drop a like on this one if you've been watching along with it or if you're watching it back. Give it a thumbs up. Make sure you check out our audio platform as well. Shout out the listeners on Spotify, Google, and Apple. We are available on all audio platforms if you don't have a chance to watch us live on YouTube every Tuesday at 7 here at Anarchy Brewery, the home of War Beer. You can get yourself a pack of War Beer. Support War Flags. Head over to their website. The QR code is there and the link is in the description. Just watching, everyone, and enjoy yourself. Now I'm going to have to get up and turn it off because it's not on there.
Well, anyway.